It is that time once again for the end of year awards. Today we'll be giving you guys our AEW awards. And yeah, this year has been obviously a very interesting year and a lot of top stars taking time away, new stars kind of forming, and obviously new stories and stuff like that kind of unfolding throughout the entire year. Let's kick into things. We're going to kick it off with the best non-wrestler. This can be managers, commentators, announcers, anything in between. So yeah, anybody who's just not a wrestler currently. And yeah, so who do you have first?
So for this one, I was torn between two. I wanted Daniel Bryan or Renee Paquette. I did end up going Daniel Bryan, even though it kind of is short-lived on commentary, but I do really enjoy it. It's a fresh breath of air for me since I don't really enjoy the AEW commentary team a whole lot. But yeah, Daniel Bryan on commentary gets it for me.
Yeah, I love Danielson's addition to the commentary since he's joined. But for me, I ended up going with Don Callis. He's somebody who we've pretty much seen throughout the entire year. He's been a pretty prominent figure on TV throughout all of the shows they have. So yeah, and he's somebody who obviously has helped elevated Kyle Fletcher this year. He's kind of been the kind of kickstarter of this Okada and Takeshita feud. So yeah, he's been there pretty much throughout the entire year, and he's consistently annoying, which is a good thing for what he's trying to do. So yeah, a very good year from Don Callis, and hopefully the Don Callis family does eventually end, but we'll see how that goes.
No.
But next up, let's go to the workhorse of the year. Somebody who just had a lot of matches, or somebody who's been consistently good throughout the entire year. Who do you got?
So for this one, mine's, I guess, sort of a cheat in a way because I did end up going with Megan Bayne, but it's kind of including herself outside of AEW as well. She did a ton of stuff in Stardom, a lot of indie stuff and things of that nature as well. She had nearly like 80, 90 matches somewhere in that range, so she worked a ton this year, and I just wanted to give her sort of a shout out like this because she's probably not going to get a ton of awards from me, even though I really do appreciate her work.
Yeah, she's had a phenomenal year. Somebody, like you said, just been everywhere throughout the Indies to Japan, back to America and AEW. So yeah, very good year from Megan Bayne. But for me, I went with somebody who has been a tag team champion, is now the Diamond Ring winner, and that's be Bandito. He's somebody who has kind of took the AEW scene by storm in a way. Went from a guy who was mostly on Ring of Honor to now being more prominently featured on AEW Dynamite, and was a tag team champion for quite a bit, and then that's one of the best tag teams this year. So yeah, very fun year from Bandito, and like I said, the matches he's had with pretty much everybody in Ring of Honor, in AEW, has been amazing.
Yeah, he definitely had a really good year. He went from, as you mentioned, being on Ring of Honor with Chris Jericho to being on PLEs and having really good matches with some of the top tag teams like FTR and the Young Bucks. So definitely really good stuff from Bandito this year.
But next up, let's go to our best return or debut. This is self-explanatory. So who do you got?
I simply went with Swerve Strickland. It's one that sort of happened recency, so maybe it's recency bias, but I really did appreciate it because it felt like something that was needed for AEW. It was a big return. He wasn't gone too long, of course, but it was in a time where Ospreay was gone and a few other people who were important to AEW were gone as well. So him coming back during that time was very big.
For me, I went with Andrade. This one obviously is a little bit of a questionable one just because it was very short-lived, but for the moment it created, the Twitter for the few days that happened was insane. After just leaving WWE, it was a very funny moment. So yeah, Andrade making one of the biggest moments and being the most talked about guys this year. But going on from that, let's get into a big one, and we're going to go with the best match of the year. Obviously, AEW known for their matches. What is the one that won it for you this year?
Yeah, I think me and you are probably going to have the same one here, and it's going to be the Hollywood ending at Revolution between Toni Storm and Mariah May. It was a bloody match. It was a good in-ring match. It was a good storytelling match. The build to it was amazing. It was probably the best story told in AEW ever. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you're correct. I do have it as well. And like you said, everything about it, we talked about it throughout the entire year, so there's not too much I really go on about, but yeah, a very fun match and a great way to send off Mariah May. But going on to the next one, we have our best pay-per-view this year, AEW. Again, known for their amazing pay-per-views. What is the one that got it for you?
I ended up going with Revolution, the same pay-per-view that held Hollywood ending, the same pay-per-view that held the Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher steel cage match where we seen the Spanish Fly off the side of the cage. Yeah, just an amazing pay-per-view and definitely the one I enjoyed the most from AEW.
Yeah, for me that was a close second, but the one just edging it out was Double or Nothing this year, with the finals of both the Owen Hart tournaments with Ospreay and Hangman, and Jamie and Mercedes. Two phenomenal matches with a great story with Hangman and Ospreay. Then you also had the Anarchy in the Arena match. We had a FTR or a Brodito match, I believe. So yeah, very fun night. And yeah, AEW continuing to their pay-per-view success this year. But going on from that now, let's go to the best moment of the year. Anything that kind of just captures the attention of the world. What did you go with?
So I went with another one that's somewhat recent at least, and that was Mark Briscoe winning the TBS title from Kyle Fletcher. They had a very long feud throughout this entire year, maybe even going into last year as well. But they had a ton of matches, and he finally ends up getting a big win for the title, and kind of a peak time for him to get it, because Kyle Fletcher was on this great spree of just great match after great match, win after win, and then Mark Briscoe was the one that dethroned him as the big baby face. He gets his custom title made to him as well, so just a really good moment for him. He does the celebration for his brother at the end as well. So everything about Mark Briscoe spells a TBS champion. I think him winning it was a perfect decision.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But for me, I went with the easy one. That was Hangman's big win at All In. Obviously, everybody knows about it at this point. Another one we talked about pretty much throughout the entire year since it happened. And yeah, this one, obviously, the story leading up to is one of my favorites. So yeah, that's why I took it home for me. But moving on to the next one, it is now for the best rivalry this year. And what is the one I got it for you?
Yeah, this one I sort of cheated because I went with Death Riders versus AEW. Now, obviously, the Death Riders went on this crazy heel streak where they were kind of going against everyone, and at the beginning of the year, they were doing a lot of crazy shit to people, making people drink bleach and things of that nature. And we've seen a lot of crazy stuff from Jon Moxley. So yeah, I just put Death Riders versus AEW because they had an incredible heel year.
For me, I ended up going with Toni Storm and Mariah May. Obviously, this one is one that didn't start this year, but it did have a lot still going into it. The build-up to the Revolution match and the Revolution match as well was just some of the best TV we've seen from AEW this year. And yeah, it was just all around a great feud. We've seen Toni Storm's kind of character change from the rookie back to who she really is, get the big win over Toni, or over Mariah, and then obviously the Grand Slam match at Australia as well was a fun part of their feud as well. So yeah, overall, that's when I had to take it home for me. Yeah, just consistency all around.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
But next up, from rivalry to the story, what is the one that captured you the most?
Yeah, so I went with Swerve and Hangman. Now, obviously, this isn't a rival. This is going to be them coming together and being friends and being able to kind of coincide with each other despite all the things that happened between them, the burning of the house and the bloody steel cage match that they had, and just everything that they've done to each other, being able to come together and be a tag team for a while, be able to fight each other's battles for a little while, in ring, out of ring, and all of that. I felt like it was a really good storytelling between the two of them this year.
For me, it's still going to be Hangman, but I went with his redemption arc. Last year, obviously, Hangman doing all the things he did to Swerve and everything that kind of unfolded to him kind of coming back, having that match with Ospreay. And that was kind of a real catalyst for him to change. And then, obviously, the big one at All In. And it was just a huge, big moment. It felt like a very hard-working moment for him to just deserve it. And, yeah, very well done. And glad he was the one to beat Moxley, one of the biggest heels we've seen in wrestling as of late.
Yeah.
But moving on, it is going to be our breakout star of the year. And who do you got?
I have Marina Shafir for this one. Someone who I really wasn't too familiar with at all previous to this year, really. I know she had a few matches here and there, but I just didn't really either see him or notice him or pay attention to him, whatever the fact was. But the fact that she came out with this new character with the Death Riders, and it was very just kind of captivating. It made you believe her. Like, and she looks like a badass. She feels like a badass. She fits the group perfectly, especially as a woman in a kind of a serious group like that. You don't really see too many women kind of fit in properly. There's kind of always like, it might be like a dorky kind of woman that's kind of in there that they kind of bully around a little bit or something, but she's like a serious character in this group. She's holding the briefcase, kind of like an important thing, obviously holding that world title and stuff, but very good stuff from her. Great stuff in ring, from Blood and Guts to recent matches she had at World's End as well. So a lot of good stuff from her, and I really liked all of the work that she gave to us this year.
Yeah, for me, I went with the easy one. That's me, Kyle Fletcher. Obviously, last year we kind of knew that he was somebody that would be a top guy in the future. But this year, with the heights he's did it at, the way everything's gone for him, I think is just a great way to kind of just show what his year has done. He's had a world title match. He's won the TNT champion. He went to the semifinals of the Continental Classic now. And yeah, overall, obviously, Kyle Fletcher went from probably a top 15 on that roster to arguably top 3, top 2, top even 1 at this point. So yeah, yeah, Kyle Fletcher had an amazing year. Obviously, like I said, you knew he was good last year, but this year he proved it and showed really how good he is.
Yeah, definitely. I probably would have picked him, but I was kind of arguing with myself if I consider him a breakout star, and that was kind of the decision making there for me.
Yeah, but moving on to the next one is going to be the best on the mic. Who has the best promos, and who is that for you?
I went with Mark Briscoe. I feel like he's probably just a really good, consistent, just talker on the mic. Like, he just does really good stuff. He makes you believe the words that he's saying, whether it's him being friendly with someone backstage in the conglomeration or something. Him kind of work Roddy Strong into coming into the conglomeration. I kind of love those segments. And then also him talking to Kyle Fletcher, him talking to MJF, the tables and tax match, that feud between him and MJF. That was just really good stuff where him and MJF were going battle for battle on the mic with each other, and then it led to that great match. So really good stuff from Mark Briscoe this year in terms of being on the mic.
And I went with a person he just teamed up with at World's End, and I went with Toni Storm. Throughout the entire year, she obviously had a ton of moments. Obviously, some people kind of don't like it, some people do. I'm on the boat of who do. And yeah, she's obviously kind of always have some big moments, some funny clips that you can always kind of recall. And yeah, she did that throughout the entire year. So for me, I had to give her the award.
Yeah.
But next up is going to be best in the ring. Obviously, the man who just had the best matches throughout the entire year. And who was that for you?
Yeah, I went with Kyle Fletcher. I feel like he's someone who just sort of amazed me. In my wrestling opinion, I think Will Ospreay is probably the best wrestler in the world. Not even probably, he is the best wrestler in the world. And now I sort of feel like Kyle Fletcher is kind of getting to that level where like he is on the level of Will Ospreay. I don't really feel like anyone is. But if there is someone, I probably would say Kyle Fletcher or Io Sky would be the only two people I would put in the same category as Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I also have Kyle Fletcher as well. Yeah, just the list of matches this year is kind of extraordinary. It feels like a Will Ospreay type of year. So yeah, Fletcher just one of the best years we've seen in quite some time. But let's go to the last three now, and we're gonna go with the best tag team of the year. Tag team wrestling kind of took a step back this year, but who took the award for you?
Yeah, so obviously on the WWE side, we've seen Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss sort of revive the tag team division there. However, my choice is on the AEW side, and that's Bro Dito reviving the tag team division and sort of putting it back on the map, back on pay-per-views, making people actually go on pay-per-views that have great matches, and the kind of bar was raised for tag team wrestling in AEW after Bro Dito, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also went with Birdie as well. Yeah, just the consistent best tag team. Bandito, like I said earlier, just one of the guys who's been there every single week, it feels like, in the pay-per-view matches they've had this year. They had a Young Bucks match. The Okada and Takeshita match was really good. And just everything in between was just really fun from them. And yeah, one of the kind of the put together teams don't really fit a lot of the times, but this one I think at the moment didn't fit, but in the end it was a very cool tag team, and hopefully we see some more of them a little bit next year. But now to the final two. Who is the best women's wrestler of the year?
Best women's wrestler for me is going to be Chris Statlander. Now I know that's probably going to be something that's going to be argued a lot. Everyone's likely would just kind of flock to Mercedes Moné, and I definitely wouldn't argue with that. However, my opinion is Chris Statlander. She's just one of my favorite women's wrestlers in AEW. She puts on a lot of great work, and World's End is sort of where I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give it to her. It's officially on paper. I'm giving it to her. I was kind of up in the air between the two, but I think after that match with Jamie Hayter, it really kind of made me solidify her on that spot.
Yeah, for me, I went with the easy pick again, and that was Mercedes Moné. Obviously, the dominance she's had this year, all the belts win, all the great matches. There's obviously not too much more to say than just look at the year she's had. But yeah, great year for Mercedes Moné, and I'm sure it'll continue into next year. But now for the final one, best men's wrestler. Who do you got?
Yeah, I went with Kyle Fletcher, wrapping up a lot of awards for me this year. But yeah, he put on some of the best matches, some of the best promos. He's in a great faction. And yeah, there's not really much more I can say that I haven't said already about Kyle Fletcher. He is just one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I think moving forward, he's probably going to be like a top 2-3 wrestler for me in all of AEW.
Yeah, and again, the other one I went with was Hangman Adam Page. Yeah, I mean, again, the guy who's been at the top of the mountain for AEW this year has been Hangman Adam Page pretty much from the beginning to now, is still there having world title defenses and opportunities. And yeah, obviously, again, a guy we talked about throughout the entire year. So yeah, very good year from Hangman. Unfortunately, losing the belt a little bit early does suck, but I'm sure we'll see him hold the belt again sometime soon. But yeah, that is the awards. And yeah, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, that is a good year from AEW in 2025. And we appreciate you guys for watching. We're at day 29 of our December marathon. Tune in tomorrow for our WWE Awards. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.